Here's another one of my favorite die-cast ships from the vintage Kenner Star Wars line from the late 70s. This is the TIE Fighter, twin ion engine. Awesome. This is actually a pretty cool little die-cast model. It's got a little bit better scale to it than the full-size vintage Kenner TIE Fighter. One of the neat things about this TIE Fighter, which I didn't know about, is I guess Lucasfilm used this in Return of the Jedi in some of the background shots. There's a picture that shows George Lucas standing over this table with a bunch of these sitting there. And there's actually a really good video that I'll put a link to down below that talks about the history of the die-cast TIE Fighter stuff, and they talk about these TIE Fighters appearing in the Return of the Jedi. I think that's pretty cool that George Lucas pulled these toys off the shelf to put into the movie. I guess that's one way to save money instead of building a bunch of models. Just let Kenner do it for you. But it's actually a pretty cool ship. One of the neat features it has is you can pull off the side panels like it's been shot. Also, you can take the pilot out the back to see him, put him back in. This pot will fall out. So I got a little piece of pipe tape around the outside of that center piece right there to hold it in place. Over time, the plastic shrinks and it gets loose and it falls out. This model has a little bit of yellowing on it. You can see there's some yellowing on the cockpit seat here in the back. The solar panels have some yellowing on them as well, and you can see the front viewport has some yellowing. I've thought about whitening this up, but aside, I'm just going to leave it alone. The bad thing about whitening these things up is over time it can just degrade the plastic, and they'll just turn yellow again within just a few short years. So I'm just going to leave it just like this in my collection, not mess with it. I like the looks of it. The only ships I'm missing out of my collection right now is the Cloud Car, and of course the very rare TIE Bomber, which I doubt I'll ever get a hold of. But you can always hope. Anyway, did you have this vintage die-cast TIE Fighter back in the day? I loved collecting these back then. In one of my earlier videos where I talked about getting the Imperial Star Destroyer and the Millennium Falcon for my birthday from my older brother, that's what started off my collecting these die-cast ships from Kenner. And I would pick them up as I would see them. You know, I'd mow a lot of yards, or I'd do chores around the house, get a little extra money to buy these when I would see them. So it's got a lot of memories tied to this. I can't remember how many yards I mowed to buy these crazy things, but I know I mowed quite a few. I know a few of the die-cast models I got, I was moving bricks. We had an old barn that got tore down, and my dad thought he had the great idea to tell me, I'll give you a penny a brick to go stack them, you know, over here in the corner of the property. And yeah, I moved a lot of bricks. But hey, it was for a good cause. It kept me in shape, you know, so it was good. Anyway, I'm rambling. I love this little die-cast TIE Fighter. It's so cool looking. Anyway, as always, everyone, thanks for watching.